Mikey Z, and welcome to another awesome episode of The Rockin' House. Today's special guest, we've got Mark Moore of Van Halen Nation, taking the nation by storm with his Diamond Dave impression of David Lee Roth, Rock Dude.
Yeah, and by the way, I really do think Mark Moore does look like Diamond Dave compared to other people who do that kind of thing. So yeah, Van Halen Nation's out of New Jersey, and they really built up a reputation. And in past couple of years, they got a great guitar player by the name of Matt Stanley, who's also in the Land of Oz. So he takes on Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads, and what a great addition to the band. When you go check out the band, they got the complete package now, and great Van Halen Nation, Van Halen.
All right, man, why don't we bring Mark Moore onto the show? Let's bring on Mark Moore, Van Halen Nation.
Hey.
All right, welcome to the show, brother. Great to have you, man.
What's up, my bro?
All right, what's up, man?
All right, man.
Mark Moore.
What's up, everybody?
Okay, we're glad to bring Mark Moore, a.k.a. Diamond Dave, to the Rockin' House. Okay, we're
Glad to be here.
Yeah, so thanks for coming. You know, with the pandemic and all, we see that Matt and his family had a little episode with that, so hope everything's okay on the
man,
the
we send out our
front
prayers.
there. It was supposed to be Matt and Mark today, but Mark was gracious enough to still come over and join the show today. So
Awesome
yeah, we're
stuff.
going to start out and how Mark basically got started as a Diamond Dave copy artist.
Actually, that started way back in the early 80s. I was in high school, and I actually started out on drums. I was playing drums, and
Nice.
they shot the mic into me and said, "You're now the singer." So I did the Phil Collins thing for a while, with playing the drums and singing. And
Sweet.
you know, and I wasn't a very good drummer, so I moved out front. We found a drummer, and so I just started, morphing into that front guy. And I was talking to Marky here about one of my early influences was Elvis Presley. So
Yeah.
we, I just, I kind of took a little bit of that, and my brother introduced me to Van Halen in '78 when they first came out. And he said, "You got to listen to these guys."
There's nothing like it, yeah.
And I had a pretty eclectic, musical background at that time, anyway. So we went. He took me to a Van Halen concert in '79, and it was just I was just blown away. I mean, we had the nosebleed section, but it was still pretty powerful in the back of the spectrum. And from there, it just kind of grew, and I just kind of got really hooked on that. And each year I went to the concert and got front row, and I started taking notes and doing my homework about Dave. And I just really liked the whole, you walked out of that concert 3 feet in the air, because it was just that energy.
Well, that's a Van Halen bring back in the day, and Phil, I understand, and Mark, if I want to interject on that, you bring that energy. From what I have seen and what I know my friends have seen going to your shows, you bring David Lee Roth, you bring it all back, like back in the day, right? For everybody to see it live on stage all over again if they never got a chance because they were too young, or who knows what other reason might have been, Yeah, and that's amazing.
Well, I mean, a lot like yourself. I mean, when you're playing, your adrenaline goes, and you get pumped up, and you you just kind of, different people put it out there, pour it out there in different ways, and so
Absolutely.
I basically am a I just kind of just naturally
something takes
kinda
over,
goes,
and you become David Lee Roth.
Yeah, once the adrenaline goes,
stage,
and and a few shots of Jack, and whatever, it just it kind of just comes out naturally. But where I was going with the music end is eventually, through high school years and bands and things of that nature, I got hooked up with an agency out over in Cherry Hill called Creative Entertainment.
Nice.
And they had a band out of Camden, New Jersey, all black band, the most talented band I've ever seen in my life.
Nice.
They could play anything.
Nice.
And we traveled around, went all around the world doing this. It was called 80s Icons, and they had Prince, and they had Michael Jackson, and Tina Turner, and and Shaka Khan, and
a combination of pop major artists all in one show.
So you had quite a resume before you started this Van Halen Nation. It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, you had your your high school band, and and like I said, I started playing drums when I was in 4th grade, and basically. I just kind of got into this thing, and it just kind of took off. And we traveled around, like I said, for probably about 4 or 5 years, and then that kind of fizzled out. And I got hooked up with a couple bands that played at the Galaxy, the Empire, and things like that.
Back in the day, yeah.
You had big time clubs, yep.
And then back in that time frame, I was bartending at the Galaxy.
Okay.
And I met Mike Stanley.
Okay.
And he was in an awesome band, Funhouse, and
and we. I was a noted band back in them days. And of course, Mike was just like his son, a great guitarist in his own right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And still is to this very day. I mean, I'm a big fan of both of them.
Yeah.
And I was a fan really of Mike and Matt even before Matt was in the band.
Right.
I was seeing this kid pump out these videos on YouTube and Facebook and everything.
Right.
I'm like, holy hell, who the hell is this kid?
I got to get a hold of him, huh?
And and I was like, gee, that's Mike Stanley's kid.
Hell
well,
yeah.
Naturally, it's going to come like that. So.
You better get him before someone snatches him up.
That's right, man.
Well, we were kind of having that musical difference thing with the guitar player in the band at the time, and he decided to move on, and so I reached out to Matt, and I said, Matt, would you feel like maybe coming out and joining a Van Halen tribute? And he said, absolutely. He jumped right at it. And
nice.
Because we had...
Gotta love that.
We had 3 shows booked back to back to back.
Right.
Like 1 week after the next. And I'm like scrambling. I'm like, holy hell, what the hell am I going to do? You just don't pluck a Eddie Van Halen out of the sky. So I called him up and I said, look, I got a show, in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He goes, well, shoot me over the set list. So I shot it over to him. He goes, I know all of them but 2.
Wow. There you go, man.
I noticed on Facebook, for practice sake, he would put out the Van Halen tunes. So he was already the man on Van Halen to start with.
Yeah.
Other than the Land of Oz and Ozzy material, he was already putting out the Van Halen like nobody's business, as we all noticed.
Oh yeah.
That was of course, like I got this actually get up on stage and sing with Funhouse back in the day, and they did a couple Van Halen songs, and we after hours would talk, and then they go, oh, I love Van Halen. Oh yeah, you do Van Halen? Yeah, I used to do this thing. And so they like, oh, you got to get up and sing. So I got up, and that's kind of like where
how it started developing.
It was weird because it started snowballing from there, and I got hooked up with a few guys that were in White Fox, Rug and Larry Campanella.
Back in the day, yep.
We got a drummer, Steve Sadowski, and we started this band called Skeleton Crew back in the day.
I remember them.
And we just did some mixed sets, and then at the end of it, everybody loved Van Halen, so that we just did this Van Halen show at the end of the night. So it was kind of like we opened up for ourselves.
That's interesting. How about it?
It was a pretty cool little concept back in the day, and it kind of like took off, and like I said, that kind of parlayed into
where Van Halen Nation is now.
Correct.
All right, we're going to come back with Mark Moore and hear some more about where his present stage in the band is right now and how things are going with Van Halen Nation in just a minute. time that we talked about some things here about Van Halen Nation, and now we want to talk a little bit about how things are moving forward, your band members, how everything formed to where we are now. Rockin.
And the thing is, he has some other talented musicians, the bass player and the drummer is a powerhouse, and he just looks like he can slam some drums, because that's how Eddie, Alex was in the original band. So he does have one of them type of drummers. And what I like too is they used the 4 bass drum style like in 1984, so you're getting like a genuine replica drum set. And that really separates these guys from the other tribute bands. They want to be exacting as possible. Then you got greenback cones in the Marshall cabinets, so you're getting the same sound they had in '78 and '79, that kind of thing. So they're very particular about the equipment and the sound that they get. Matt Stanley in particular, the new fella who came into the band, his father was in the quite famous in this area Funhouse, and he was always about tone, and the son plays just like that too, the tone. So he's got a Kemper unit in his rack, and he can dial into the Pacific Eddie Van Halen guitar tone. And basically, Matt's one of them guys who can play note for note, and when you close your eyes, you think you're hearing Eddie Van Halen play the tunes. So we'll have Mark fill us in on who the other members of the band are. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, back, again, we morphed to Van Halen Nation and then different variations there. Right. But first guy from the present Van Halen Nation was Chris Nerone, the drummer that you speak of. Basically, drummers are individuals that get paid to bash things with drumsticks. So Chris fit the bill, and so we got him in, and
like I say, Mark, you really couldn't have anybody but a heavyweight, heavy hitter, because that's the way Alex was, and he was a monster. So you do have the monster drummer in your band. You do.
Absolutely, yeah. He's a gentle giant coming in at 5'3". And
wow,
he's very soft-spoken. Doesn't say much. Just a very nice guy to be around. So I'm quite impressed by him.
Everybody.
Total professional, and that's the thing I see, because I've been around the band quite a lot, and they're just total professionals, but really nice people. Besides what they bring to the table as far as musicianship.
Yeah, they're all consummate professionals. Very nice guys. Great families. I'm the only one that's the asshole, so I'll admit that. But yeah. Well, and then Chris, like you said about the drum kit, he's just like, you know what, man, I'm going to go for it, and he comes out with the 4-banger, and basically they're very expensive cymbal stands because obviously he doesn't have 4 legs and he's not hitting them all, but he does. Right. We want to get that authentic Van Halen vibe, that feel, like you were talking about earlier about the energy on stage.
Absolutely.
So I did my homework, and I look at all the tributes out there and everything, and I think we spoke about this the other day where, there's not, I don't see the Dave do
the attention to detail.
Yeah, the jump off the drum riser.
Let's go to that. Let's go to that. The jump off the drum riser. I see that picture, man, and you look like Diamond Dave without a doubt. That looks like a Van Halen shot, like back in Hit Parader.
Right.
Literally, like you were doing the kicks like Dave. It's amazing. Like they're not just getting the voice. They're not just getting the band and the sound and the quality with the backing amps to make the whole Van Halen experience.
Yeah.
But you're also doing these kicks like the martial arts stuff that Diamond Dave does. Like, do you practice that, or is it just something you're just flexible and just can do it? I'm sure our listeners are interested to know about something like that.
My wife keeps me hermetically sealed in the basement for months on end. So,
oh yeah, she got a dojo down there. Or
something? It's.
Karate Kid.
Yeah. So only at the Rockin house. I hear you.
The Karate House.
Yeah. So I do stretch. I do. I do construction during the day and for my real life, and so that's
that says a lot right there. So you're physically
able to do that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, and then I look, that doesn't come naturally. I mean, you do have to practice
Of
that,
course,
and you
man.
gotta
Yeah,
get
Burnt
there we
out
go.
by Friday's gig then is what you're telling me? The construction thing?
No, well, look, some things are, in alcohol induced. Let's put it that way.
Alcohol induced.
So,
Okay.
but
so that's the secret ingredient.
well,
Are you hearing this, guys?
that's the kickoff. You know what I mean? But what you're getting on stage is,
I got it. Okay.
a lot of adrenaline. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and that's
Of
my
course.
drug. So,
Nice.
but and then my longtime friend Pete Kamanakis is on bass,
Okay.
and I've known Pete for early '80s, and he was in a traveling.
And that's all
regiment.
Pennsville, like,
Yeah,
situation?
he's from Pennsville, New Jersey, and
Okay.
he was in some great bands and some original acts that traveled and everything, and
Nice.
he was out in California and living out there for a while, and he was taking these classes, and lo and behold, Billy Sheehan comes and
Wow.
was his teacher for
How about
I
that?
believe for a few months, and
Nice.
that's
Quite
how
a
he
story, yeah.
he
That's
really
awesome.
acquired a lot of knowledge there. So
Very awesome.
so Pete was in, and then lo and behold, the story of Matt Stanley came to fruition, and man, I tell you, Van Halen Nation has like just skyrocketed since then.
That's amazing.
And like you say,
people-
his
People do
sound.
identify with Matt. He's just very young to have this much of a talent behind him at such a young age.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For me, I got connected with Matt through Paul Picari from, because I was originally connected with the Get the Lead Out when Paul was in that
Yeah.
band.
Yep.
And then ever since Paul started his own band for Ozzy Osbourne tribute band, Matt's was hired in to do that also, and he's just as well versed at Randy Rhoads note for note as
Yep.
well as the Van Halen thing.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of these Van Halen tribute bands, and Matt is really the top of who does this kind of thing, and he has a lot of years to hone his craft in.
Yep.
So I was, for myself, one of my best stories was there was a late winter storm. It was his first professional gig, aged approximately 16 years old,
Wow.
at the event center at the Steel Stacks in Bethlehem Casino, and saw his first gig there, and he really killed it there, and the rest is history. And lucky I got out of Dodge with the snowstorm.
Wow.
I had to go Beasley Turnpike. The hill coming in wasn't going to cut it with my putt car. But I met the rest of the family for the first time, and they were just brilliant as well. I just happened to bump into them at the truck stop at the Allentown Exchange, and the rest is history. And I love Matt like we all do, and he's just a nice young gentleman besides the point.
Awesome. Well, we're going to come back with some more from Mark Moore and Van Halen Nation in just a minute.
Ow!
With Diamond Dave impersonator, Mark Moore, Van Halen Nation. And we wanted to close out our show today with talking about Mark and where he's going with the band in the future. It looks like the future's very bright with having this Matt Stanley that joined the band. He's taking it to some serious levels. absolutely, as you said, skyrocketed the band by coming in and,
Well,
and bringing Eddie like.
What I was going to say, what we
Unbelievable.
did mention, was I was quite impressed because Mark had an opportunity. He's coming back on the 25th of the month to do
Nice.
one of them drive-in theater shows, and they're fantastic. The technology with the screens behind the band is amazing. It's like you're in your own home theater, crystal clear.
Amazing.
I didn't know what to expect when I went to see one of these drive-in shows, and they did it with Kick It Out, which is a tremendously gifted Heart tribute band.
Absolutely.
They blew me away. I saw them for the first time. So, there's things that are happening during the pandemic that you can still get out and see your favorite acts. And in the Philadelphia tri-state area, you have these, like I say, these drive-in theater shows, and they're awesome. I'd highly recommend going out and seeing one. And Mark is going to come back and do a second show over in the Williamstown venue, which is one of the more popular ones in the area.
Awesome.
Yep, that's going to be a double shot for Matt because we're playing with Land of Oz. That
Oh
day,
wow.
That is so true.
so
Matt,
double duty
You
on
definitely
that
got to
deal.
catch this because if
That's
you want,
amazing.
if you're into guitar or if you're into 80s music, you're going to get your night full of
Oh, yeah.
Van Halen and vintage Ozzy. So
And
Wow.
as we discovered from past history, Randy Rhoads is one of the top guitarists in the history of the whole scene. So
Oh yeah.
for Matt Stanley to actually make an attempt at that, and not only make an attempt, do a good job with all of that. So for a young guitar player to pick two of the most difficult guitar players to do
Insane.
and run with it,
yeah.
I mean, I'm always in awe and all that. So good job to Matt Stanley. So I just had to give him a plug because he couldn't make it today.
Absolutely. So when is that date? We can tell everybody on that.
September 25th, Friday.
And where's that going to be, Mark?
It's in Williamstown, New
Oh.
Jersey.
Black Horse Pike.
Yeah, it's a place called the Estate, and they have a little venue they've set up in the back in the parking lot called Rhythm and Reels. It's
Nice.
a huge. Basically, they've made their parking lot into a drive-in. You pull up with your car, you get your spot, and there's a huge screen behind the band, and they project the band onto the screen.
Nice.
And we play in front, and so you're getting live music. You're able to see from. We were in the back of the parking lot looking at Kick It Out, and you can see them clear as day. So
Amazing.
it's
Amazing.
an awesome setup. They did a great job with it, and the owner Rocco, thumbs up to him because he's an awesome dude, and he's out there trying to make it happen. And of course, there are people fighting against it because
Yeah.
but he's doing a great job, and and it's definitely COVID compliant, and you're definitely safe, and you just kind of like can make a like a tailgating vibe there.
Right.
And you just they pump the music through your car stereo,
Very cool.
just like a
Very
drive-in.
cool.
And I will add that, Land of Oz and Van Halen Nation will be 25th over in Williamstown. And the Rockin' House 50% of the show today will be edited in with everything they do over there. So it'll be a cool double show. So I just like the venue, period. So I'm just wanted to run over there and do a show again with Van Halen Nation and tell you what goes on over at the Williamstown venue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
Absolutely.
Definitely. We had a great time there too. We're trying to put together a few more dates that we possibly can. Hopefully, with things looking like they're slowly opening.
Right. Right.
We do have a possible show back at Spyglass Ridge Winery out
Right,
in
I was going to have you mention
Nice.
that.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Sunbury, PA.
That's supposed
Beautiful.
to be a killer venue that I didn't make it to. Yeah.
It was
Wow.
an awesome stage. It was so cool because you're kind of going through these winding roads, and then you're kind of like, nothing but cornfields, and then it opens up to this huge stage in
That's
the middle
great,
of
man.
nowhere, and set on a nice picturesque
Did they
property.
have crop circles there too?
No, I think we caused a few, but
Very cool.
uh,
man.
That's why it's open territory there. It was already burnt to.
Yeah.
No, but you did do some gigs with another good tribute band. They're nice fellas too. The Voltage AC/DC
Yes.
guys.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I believe they played the gig up there too. Yeah.
yeah, I set them up with Tom Webb, the owner of Spyglass, and definitely Leopard, an awesome Def
Nice.
Leppard.
Nice.
And I
And we
teamed
know-
them.
we
I
know
teamed
them
them
too.
up together because they share a guitar player. so it kind of made sense. And
Yeah,
then we
yeah.
did the gig with a Black Sabbath tribute out of Jackson, uh, uh, New Jersey.
Okay.
And their Black Rain, the Black Sabbath, the American Black Sabbath experience.
Okay.
And very cool. They do the whole '70s vibe.
Okay.
They don't do the Randy Rhoads stuff, but I mean, and what we did is we kind of like kicked it back to the '70s.
Yeah.
Right.
We did the whole first album.
Nice.
Opened up with the whole first VH album, and
Very awesome.
And which is cool because like Matt is an old soul, so he's like, he loves Van Halen 1 and 2.
Right.
Like I see, in fact, that night they were, one more song, and so
Nice.
I always throw it over to Matt. I said, Matt, what song you want to do? And he's like,
Nice.
instantly off the, he's like, Light Up the Sky.
Nice. Great
So I
song.
was like,
Just listen to that last night, man.
Nothing light.
how could
no.
we? So
That's a great album. Them 2 albums are freaking phenomenal
Yep.
albums ever. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they set the stage for whatever came after that. Really, Eddie was instrumental in what the guitar world is like today. Basically, he changed the game when that first
Yeah.
album came out.
Oh yeah.
And
No one had to sound like him. He was like, when I first heard him, it was unbelievable. Like, wow.
yeah,
You know?
it's exactly. I mean, 1978. Everybody was, turning on their
perhaps it was disco and
Wi-Fi 92. You remember that back in the
I
day?
knew him. That was one of my favorite stations.
And,
Wi-Fi
I mean,
92.
all of a sudden, this thing just cracked across the airwaves. It was called Eruption. And it was like, what the?
Yeah, what was
and
this?
it was melting everybody's face. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, they just kind of like.
and then the
broke out
80s
there.
mill hasn't arrived yet. You hadn't had the Iron Maidens and guys like that.
No,
And that was the era of disco. So
Yeah.
Eddie had a way in presenting himself well back in them days. Yeah.
Absolutely.
In fact, they Ain't Talking About Love was actually a spoof on disco music. So.
No shit. How about that?
Of course, who
Wow.
really got me was the Kinks, right?
Yep.
Yeah. They did. They
So
made
yeah,
fans.
so that was one of the early tunes I heard on the radio. You Really Got Me took off
Yeah.
big in them days.
Yeah, it's pretty well.
But yeah, for me too, Mark,
Mark.
the first 2 albums, they're my favorite too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful
agree.
Girl, any of them kind of tunes, is
Yeah.
just right up my alley.
Oh yeah. Bottoms up. Ain't
Yeah, they-
talking about love.
I think after a
Great.
while,
Now, should I ask you, Mark,
Go ahead.
when you go out there on stage, there a song or two that you like to play, or you just want to say, guys, that's something I like, or you want to go to?
Yeah, I like my favorite songs are off of Van Halen 1 through 1984.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every one of them. I don't really have a favorite song, is what I'm trying to say.
You love them all.
Yeah, I don't really, because I get asked that a lot. I just don't,
Okay.
I don't know, I can't like single one out, but,
Yeah.
I mean, there are like some that are harder to perform.
Well, yeah.
But I just kind of love them all.
Very awesome. Well,
Have you guys ever made an attempt at Spanish Fly, like for Matt to do that?
Yeah, Matt
one?
did do Spanish Fly.
Nice.
Like he does like different variations. I like because he would come out and do Eruption, which everybody knows he can do. But then I said, Matt, look, this is your time, buddy. Shine.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
Go ahead,
Absolutely.
take the stage and do your thing.
Nice.
And if anybody has seen Matt from the beginning, he's definitely broke out of a shell and blossomed into one hell of a performer now. And
Nice.
he's added, like the beginning of Mean Street and
Nice.
he just kind of like throws. He's put like a compilation of solos in there together, and he's just a joy to watch. Really,
bringing
like
it
sometimes I gotta like catch myself because like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like stopping watching the guy. I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be, singing. Like.
So we did mention Unchained.
Come on, Dave. Give me a break.
Unchained, right? But Romeo's Delight, and I mention this because Matt did a fill-in gig with Romeo's Delight in the early stages of his development with you guys. And I'm thinking, is Romeo's Delight trying to steal Matt away from you guys? Is that what they were thinking? I bet you they were. That's my take on it. They were a little
We'll never
slow.
know.
They were a little slow.
Well,
Mark got Matt before they did, so that's the end of that story.
Brian, I'm currently in litigation, and I'm not able to speak upon that. So,
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, man.
yeah.
I want to say thank you for coming on the show with the Rockin' House with me and Rock Dude, and we really
Rockin'
appreciate
House.
coming to this.
Ow.
Why don't you leave us with a little scream, like a little squeal, like Dave or something?
Yeah!
All right. Check it out, man. Real deal. Okay.
That sounds good to me, man. Well, I'm Marky Z,
I'm Rock Dude. All right.
and we're out.
And Mark Moore from Van Halen Nation,
Woo!
baby. Coming to you live. All right.
Rockin' House.
All right, man.